From the combined crew of blindandroidusers.com and accessibleandroid.com, it's time for your favorite Android podcast. Kick back now and enjoy another fine episode from these fanboys and gals as they navigate Android from a blindness perspective. And now, here's your crew. From the scattered studios across the world, this is Blind Android Users episode 214. I'm Warren Carr here from Studio A in the state of Washington.
I'm John Dyer from Studio Virginia.
Karin Kiwan from Studio Beirut.
And this is Sally Kundus from Studio Samsung.
Coming up in this episode, we will be talking about a lot of things. And we're recording today, Saturday, January 11, 2025. I can't believe how fast this year is going on. And so far, we're into January 11. And coming up, we've got some stuff for you. Of course, we're thinking of CES, but starting with Android basics, we'll be talking about One UI 7 and the new QPR from Google. Then we have a double header in the way of the Spotlight, and where we talk about the CES 2025, that's the Consumer Electronics Show, and the OnePlus 13. That's what we have in store today. Sally, let's get started with you. You've been kind of gone last week. You are playing with a baby there, your brother's baby. You are being the big uncle and all of that good stuff, showing the kid how good looking you are, and he needs to take after you. What's up with that?
Yeah, obviously it was like such a good feeling being with the newborn baby, and I was away for last week. And yeah, feels good, and as always, I'm getting better, looking better every day. It's really cold over here, like 11 degrees Celsius. And how about you, Warren? How are you?
I'm doing good. I thought I'm kind of getting a little cold. I think maybe my wife got it from her school or whatever. But I was sneezing this morning and a little bit scratchy. But I think it's time to hit that Zycam so I could knock down the potency of this thing. But other than that, though, it's good. And you know what? Today, actually, we're getting better because I think the sunshine is coming through today. And we actually, believe it or not, I think we're going to be like 40 degrees today. So looking forward to it. I'm going to poke my head out there just to have a little sunshine for a change. It's been like in a pea soup. And this is definitely a welcome news. Other than that, we're doing good. John, what's going on?
It snowed. It actually snowed here. So we got not much, but for our area it is. We got like 2 inches last night, which is more than it snowed here in like 3 years. So we went out this morning and we did all the snow things. We built a snowman, had a snowball fight, made snow angels, all the typical play in the snow activities.
I like, making the snow angel. It's a good thing. I remember, though, probably Colorado is where I like, doing snow angels the most, or maybe even here. That dry snow, not the wet kind and all of that. But frankly, it's a nice thing to see kids doing all those things. Kids are always very happy. I mean, even I, as an adult, I kind of like, messing around in the snow and all of that. But the only part I don't like is, trying to clear that driveway. It's one of those things that I don't like doing.
Yeah, when we get snow around here, it's usually not the dry snow, so we have to save the snow angels to last before we go in so we can change our clothes.
There we go. That's good. Karin girl, what's going on? Are you eating any fruit? I know you're not a fruit lover, but I thought that now and then I'm going to try to kind of prod you a little bit and to be able to get a little bit of some nice fruit. What's going on?
I'm doing well. Well, there's not too much fruit right now. Actually, we have oranges, several kinds of oranges. Well, not so much into oranges, but yeah, I do eat from time to time. But yeah, it's not actually the season of fruits. But you are guys enjoying snow. But here we are even not getting enough rain. Actually, this year the rain is below average, and we are just hoping for the better to come. Until now, it appears that there is not so much to wait for, because there are no storms, no rain in the coming days. But we are just hoping for to have a real winter. Until now, we don't have a real winter.
Really interesting. Now, talking about oranges, I didn't know that oranges grow in Lebanon. That's really nice. I like oranges. I think California, or actually Florida, grows a lot of oranges. And I love oranges. If you don't eat fruit, you kind of remind me of those guys back in the olden days, sailing on the seas, and they were having difficulty and they didn't know why they were having those difficulties, and all that difficulty was coming as a result of not having fruit in their diet. So you better be eating that fruit, my dear, or else you'll be like a sailor.
But I eat vegetables. I eat vegetables, and I'm the broccoli lover. So broccoli will save
good
me.
for you. Yeah. Broccoli, I like broccoli, but I think the one that I don't care about too much is that cauliflower. But my wife found a way of making it into like wings, with buffalo sauce, and boy, the thing tastes like I'm eating buffalo wings. So I like that. So whenever I'm gonna eat cauliflower, I'll like it that way. But broccoli, I eat them whichever way you do it. I haven't eaten much of the unless in my salad. I don't grab it and just go eating it by itself. It's just one of those things when it comes to broccoli. John, you like broccoli?
No, it smells like farts.
What? Oh my god! Do I still like broccoli?
Brother.
This is the question now.
Oh, that is so bad. Sally, you like broccoli?
Well, I mean, I don't know what to say. I'm okay, but I don't really look for it.
You don't go out of your way
Yeah.
to go find. It's not something that you're sitting there wishing
Yeah.
I had some broccoli.
Yeah, like when it is there, I can eat, but
Yeah. I don't sit down there, wishing I had it. But when I have it, I like it steamed or roasted in the oven. It's really nice. Try that, sprinkle some seasoning on it. That thing is really good. I like it that way. Oh, maybe we should start a little podcast on food. I'm just kind of kidding, but it sounds good to me. Yeah. And now, the Android Basics segment. This is a segment where we discuss the things that power your device from behind the scenes. And now, here's this week's episode, Android Basics. Well, now let's move on to our Android Basics. And today we're talking about the One UI and the QPR 2.1 from Google. John, how about you get us started on that One UI 7? And I'm kind of still a little bit mad with Samsung for not pushing it out to other phones. That's one of the reasons why I'm not very happy with Samsung, guys. They should at least push it out to the S22 series, like I said. John, maybe you should suggest that they open it up next time out. I know it's kind of too late now, but what's going on? I know they pushed out a new one, didn't they?
So they're on the third beta now, and it's still only for the S24 series of phones. So it's looking at this point like they're not going to even release the beta on other phones. Like you might just have to wait for the stable. That's just me guessing, but there's been rumors that the fourth beta may be the last one, and the third beta might even be the last one. There might not be another beta. It's just been so different this time around because they got so far behind. I know with One UI 6, they had 7 betas, and they did at some point open up the beta to the S20. Well, at the time, I guess the S22 series, and then the Fold and Flip series. But this time around, I don't. It's not looking like they're going to do any of that. So it's definitely different.
So, in other words, though, are they going to be taking something from Google's playbook that is uh, not bringing the S25? Because the S25 series is going to be announced next week, right? The 22nd. So that thing is going to be coming out of the box with Android 14. Is that what that is going to be? Like what Google did?
It's going to have, it'll have Android 50. It'll have One UI 7 on it.
Okay, so but if
it might even have
One
7.0.
UI 7, then it shouldn't. There wouldn't be another beta, then, would there? I don't get it.
Well, they announced it on the
next-
22nd. They're not going to actually
Roll
ship
it
them
out.
until February at some point. So
I got it.
they do still have a few more weeks. But yeah, usually they would come with like 7.1. But yeah, at this rate, it's like they're going to come with 7.0, and then we're going to have to wait for 7.1. Who knows what's happening with them? But just to give some updates on bugs that I'm experiencing. So they have fixed a few things since the first beta. There were some issues with the home screen. If you were to drag an item to create a folder, it wouldn't tell you were creating a folder. There were no actions on items in the app drawer, the vertical app drawer. Well, there were actions there, but they wouldn't work. It would just say action not supported. They've fixed both of those. They've fixed the quick settings. You in the first beta, you couldn't rearrange quick settings in any way. If you were to do the double tap and hold to rearrange, it would not announce the position, and there were no actions, so you couldn't move them using actions. But now in beta 3, you can move them both ways. So I have fixed all that stuff, but there's still a lot of stuff that needs to be corrected. I've posted on the Telegram group and on the mailing list, where about these issues, but I'll also mention them here because, if anybody out there listening is in the beta, I strongly recommend you report these bugs as well, because, this is stuff that needs to be fixed before it's released. The one that annoys me the most is on the recent screen, when you swipe from items, swipe between open apps, it won't automatically scroll. So you can't do that just with one finger. You have to move the screen with 2 fingers to go through all your open apps. Another issue is the fingerprint direction. When your phone is locked and you miss the fingerprint sensor, it always says move up. Even if you touch above the fingerprint sensor, it tells you to move up. So that's broken, needs to be fixed. The now bar on the lock screen, at the bottom of the screen between the 2 shortcuts, when it has media controls on it, because you have media playing or paused, those buttons are not labeled, so those need to be labeled. Also, when you long press a notification, the buttons for turn off notification or notification settings, those are not labeled. And then I think the other big one that I pointed out is when you're rearranging the quick settings page or the quick panel, you can move the sections around, but instead of the sections being labeled by what they are just labeled by what position they're in. So it really gives you as a user no idea you don't have any idea what you're moving around unless you just remember what was in the position when you started. So there's other things, but those are the bugs that I feel strongly need to be addressed before the final release, but we'll see if they are or not. So I encourage anybody listening who hasn't reported them to report them. You can do it through the Samsung Members app on your phone if you're running the beta.
So there are things that are critical, and there are things that I see as not being too critical. For example, how often does one go to the quick panel or quick settings to rearrange things? I mean, most of us just go with what the default is, but it's so funny, so you move, you're trying to move the flashlight maybe out of your way to maybe the second page or somewhere in there where you don't often use it. It's not going to tell you what you're moving, but it would at least let you know that you've moved something to position 13 or whatever. That's very interesting. But it's nice that they've actually fixed those actions, because I think some of us, that's what we use the most, right?
Yeah.
Especially.
The only way to do it before is to just completely remove everything from your quick settings and then just add them back in the order you want.
That you want it.
That's the only way to actually accomplish it. But now they have at least fixed that. So, but yeah, they still have a lot to do, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, it's good that they're catching these things, though, but like you said, though, it's good to report these things. If you have the S24 series, it's most important that you report these things that you're coming across. Is there a reporting mechanism like what we have, like the feedback, beta feedback we have on Google? Is there an app like that on the Galaxy, or how do you guys go about reporting those?
The app is called Samsung Members. So instead of taking you to the regular Samsung Members screen, it will know you're in the beta, and it will give you the option to submit feedback right from the home screen of that app.
Nice. Sally, do you like rearranging things on your quick panel, or you just leave them the way they are?
Oh, I really like rearranging things in the panel. So
Okay, so
yeah,
if you were to get this, you would be kind of not a very happy camper.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Karen, do you rearrange things on the quick panel? I don't. I mean, I seldom do. Like maybe the ones that I like the most, probably I bring them to page one. But like the casting, I think that's the one that I brought to the first page. But other than that, I leave most of them in their default state. How about you, Karen?
I also rearrange them because I don't like how they sort them. How they organize them different than how I want them to be. So yeah, I also, and especially that now the items that are correct me if I'm wrong, John, but if I remember correctly, you said before that the toggles that were in the notification shade aren't in the notification shade anymore. So we should go to quick settings more now.
Yeah, if so you can have it either way. You can have it be how it is still. You can leave it like that, or you can switch to the new way where the notification shade does not have any toggles. So yeah, they're at least leaving you the choice to have it either way.
Oh, so it's optional? Is it still optional?
Yeah, it is optional. So you can go, the way it is now is there's two quick settings panels, or I guess there's two places for quick toggles. You have the quick toggles on your notification shade, and then you have the quick toggles on your quick settings, and you can rearrange both of them the way you want. That's how it is now. So you can revert back to that old way of doing it, and it works the same way. So if you don't want it to change at all, you have that option. I don't know if when you get the update, if it'll switch it over for you, but if it does, then you can switch it back.
That's perfect.
Yeah, so I hope we see another beta. I'm sure probably they may give us another beta. Yeah, most especially, the phone may not be out. Of course, they announce it, and then maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, the phones may come out. And I'm sure there would be another beta between then or something. We'll see what happens. Definitely, there's going to be another one in February before the phone is released. So again, guys, send that feedback. So we'll have the good stuff going on. Chugging along, though, how about we talk a little bit about the QPR1? I think in this case, though, we're simply just going to give you guys a URL from which to read what has changed with the Pixel QPR2. If you're running 2.1, if you're running that program, it's one of those things that Google pushed out. It was just a minor fix because some people were having some problems, and so that's what that is all about. I think that we'll see the full drop sometime in March, but we're not going to go into what has changed and what hasn't. We'll just give you the URL in there since it's just a minor thing. I think that's all that I have to say about this QPR 2.1. Welcome to the Spotlight segment. This is a segment dedicated to interviews with developers or interesting happenings in the world of Android. And now for this week's episode, here's your spotlight. Moving along this trend, let's go on to our next segment, and this is Spotlight 1, and we're talking about CES, a Consumer Electronics Show, the show that used to be that John used to go and present one of the toasters he's working on, and all of a sudden now it's kind of just evolved into something else. John, what's going on? You guys kind of thrown us into a loop here. All of a sudden, we've moved away from the dicers and toasters, and we're now looking at, big time electronics, TVs and computers and phones. And what else is there in that mix that we would like to talk about CES? Are you enthused about CES? It seems like we have a lot of these things. I know we have the MWC coming up in February, right? And then we have the IFA or IFA coming up in August. And I'm sure there's something in between there that I'm missing. All the Google I/Os and some other ones. And we seem to have a lot of things going on every year, don't we?
Yeah, there's really not too mobile focus or mobile first at CES, but some companies do take the opportunity to announce certain things. Did any I'll let you guys go first. Did anything catch your eye, Android related, that you're excited about?
Well, I think the TCL, the makers of the defunct, no, they are not HMD. I'm thinking of Nokia. Yeah, was it TCL that was making the Nokia phones? No.
No, it's
No.
HV.
Yeah, it's HMD.
Okay. Now, so TCL, those guys have a couple phones and a tablet. So it's called the NXT paper. So supposedly, though, this thing is supposed to look really good. I mean, they're mid-rangers, but the whole idea is to give you that kind of a paper look. And so now it's the 4.0 version of that, proprietary software that gives you that look, and you can even change it into like an ink. But the other one, though, there's one phone in there. Is it TCL that has like something in the back that you can remove and use it as a watch? I'm kind of thinking here, do I really want a phone with a screen on the back that I can remove and put a band on it and wear it like a watch? What do you
No.
guys think?
You don't.
No?
This is one of those prototype things that will never sell.
Well, but at least they are not shy, right? I
Yeah.
think I give them the not being shy award of doing something different because I'm looking at the whole process. I mean, phones have kind of become the same thing all across the board, and someone is thinking out of the box. We've got to do something different, something that makes us stand out in the crowd. And so they're going to this lens to create something that is out there, so to speak. But I was just wondering, would anyone want that? Sally, I see you as someone that might. You think you wouldn't want that?
Well, I love those sort of inventions, but still, I'm not looking for that sort of phone. I love when brands try something new, but still.
Didn't somebody release a watch that had earbuds in it? You could take the earbuds out of the watch.
Yeah, last year I remember something like that, but I don't quite remember what.
I think that's an actual product you can buy, if I'm not
Yes,
mistaken.
it is.
Yeah,
It is. And it shows up at, CES too. So it's just, I don't know. You could, I think that's the one I'm talking about. You could change it to an
Yeah.
earbud.
So what if you had a phone that had a watch you could take out of the phone, and then you could take earbuds out of that watch?
Yeah, wow.
That would be a big phone.
I
Yeah,
think
that's
it's a nice phone though, having that. And there was one that we were talking about on our group, the big 33 milliamp battery uh, Alcatel. There we go. Oukitel. And Alcatel guys, they're not shy. I mean, that's a big break. And for me, I don't care. Frankly, if I have access to that phone, I wouldn't mind it, for when I travel overseas, especially. I don't have to be looking for, a place to plug my phone. I was talking on our Telegram group how it
Yeah,
was.
you were lost
I
in
was in
Istanbul, right?
Turkey, yeah, and I had my USB-C to C, and I couldn't find a spot on there to put in my USB-C. They were all occupied, and so some nice lady, from the staff, there, went and found me something to charge my phone. So, nice lady there in Turkey. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that
what
got me
that's
attention,
what
right? Yeah.
good looking gets for you. If you're a good
Yeah.
looking guy, you'll
Yeah.
never be stranded, right,
Yeah.
Sally?
Yeah,
You're a
exactly.
witness to that, aren't you?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, so really, if I had had that type of phone and I had fully charged it, I'm not going to be looking for any more plugging or into whatever power until I get home. So I wouldn't mind having such a phone for my backup for when I
But
travel or when I
the
go out to the
problem with
woods.
that phone is you would think you never had to charge it. Like you would never think of charging it. You're just like, this phone lasts forever, and then one day it's gonna be
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah, there you go.
You know,
You're
'cause
going to pick
you
it up
get
and
in
it's
the
gone.
routine of charging something, and then if the routine stops, then how are you gonna remember?
Yeah, that could be a problem. That absolutely. Yeah, so it's a double-edged sword because you could forget that, this thing needs to be charged because you're so used to it having that, endless, bottomless power. And then you never take the time to charge it. And then when you go
Like,
to charge it,
here's the
use this
thing.
one.
Every Sunday, charge it.
Yeah, but so if I'm going to try to see if it's going to be on the zone that is on Amazon, just for giggles. I'm going to try to get that baby and see.
Definitely get it.
Yeah,
Get it.
really, I don't mind hefty phones. I like my phone that feels more with a heft because
Mhm.
it tells me it's made of
That is
quality
that
material.
is too hefty. That is too
Yeah, it's very heavy, like
I
400
mean, if you're
grams
gonna
is like,
pick it up and use it constantly, no thanks.
Yeah,
Imagine,
that means like you can get trainings to your muscles
imagine if
every
you drop that
single.
thing on your foot.
Oh no.
yeah, I don't know why, but I kind of like phones feel more hefty. I like phones with a heft for some reason. Um, you pick it up and you kind of like you kind of like shake it a little and you feel that heft, and then you pick up some phones and are very light, and to me it's like, gosh, it's like cheap material. I don't know. I think I'd always had that feeling that something that is well built feels heavy.
I'm really hearing those from the sighted guys. They are laying down and using their phones, like out of sudden they lose control and the phone falls down on
Oh,
their
yeah.
nose. So imagine
That would
that's
give
happening
you a
to them.
concussion. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's one of those things. There's always a trade-off somewhere, but yeah, definitely I would like to try this phone and see if
You definitely should. Just take it as an encouragement. So just go for it.
yeah.
You know what? If this thing comes and knocks onto my door, I won't take it.
No, you don't like heavy stuff.
I would take it. I would just sell it.
I would try it. Come on, I would
Yeah.
try it definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the problem, who would get this thing? Actually, even you won't be able to sell it, I think.
No,
You
I don't
can
want
sell
to
it to Warren.
Yeah.
Well,
It makes
so-
sense.
For me though, I'm looking at the battery, man. I mean, it's just you can't go wrong with that 33
I mean,
milliamp.
like,
I'm
imagine
not sure
me.
they'll let me on the plane with it though. That's number one.
Yeah, for my side, I'm using S23 as a like small battery, so I'm quite excited about that phone. Like 10 times bigger than my battery.
Oh yeah, this thing because your S23 is what, maybe 3,000
It's so
milliamp.
big.
39. Yeah.
It's so big they don't even have to say milliamps anymore. Like 33,000 milliamp hours is just 33 amp hours. Like you don't even have to say milliamps anymore. Just say amps.
Yeah.
I like that
Exactly.
though. Seriously, I'm gonna go after it and I'll unbox it for our podcast. Just
Yeah,
for
you
giggles,
should.
and keep it for camping. I hope it has a way of reverse charging where I could just plug another phone to it. I think if one plugs a phone to the USB-C, I'm positive it will charge your other phone. So you could use it as a power bank. You
Yeah,
see?
definitely good. Good.
Yeah.
Yes, you should consider it, Kareem.
Or you could
I'll
just
consider
buy
a
a
power
power bank
bank.
for
Come
much
on, it's
cheaper.
We
Yeah,
said it
power
together.
power
exactly.
bank phone.
Yeah, but this is a better power bank because it's a useful power bank. It's a
Yeah,
power
like you
bank
can
that you
make
can
calls
use
on it.
both as a power
Yeah.
bank and as a phone. So actually, it's better than carrying some stupid power bank in your bag or in your pocket.
Exactly.
I'd rather
Like,
have a
But
phone that
it
is a
probably
power bank.
charges so slow though, compared to an
see,
actual
this is
power bank.
what's happening to me. Like, I get a Samsung power bank, and whenever I need it, it's empty.
So see, that's the problem.
Yeah,
But still,
I
this
want that.
baby is
I
gonna
want
be
that phone.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. You and I should plan on getting this one just
yeah,
because we can, right?
I want
Uh,
that.
2 against 2. I guess it's a draw here. Agree to
Yeah,
disagree, right?
I know Karen will never take this type of a phone. It's too manly. It's a manly phone. Nothing girly here. Girls, I'm not kind of putting you guys down, but I don't see a girl carrying this everything. Well, you can use it as a defense
Landline.
mechanism. Yeah, some boy trying to mess with you, you can whack him on the head with it. It's a good
Mm,
tool.
mm.
I'll stay away,
Yeah, my
right?
head hurts now.
It's a
There
beautiful
are
phone.
cheaper. There are cheaper alternatives, by the way.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
then look, you ignored that John is also against the phone, so you can't say that only a girl. It's not for you. Just John is always not liking it.
Yeah. Well, but, sometimes John kind of
He's
likes the
trying to say
girly
I'm
stuff.
not. Yeah, he's trying to say I'm not manly.
No, like if I get a chance, I'm definitely interested in that phone.
Yeah. I see Sally and I getting this
I'm not
stuff.
as concerned with manliness and handsomeness as you two are.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, running around with a 40 millimeter watch, something like that, right?
Yeah.
John? I don't know. It's silly.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, seriously, I would love to see that phone. So I'll look for it on the zone and see if it's there. I would like to, and I'll unbox it for you guys.
So there are a couple of phones been released for this event. There are the Poco phones. If you guys know that brand working under Xiaomi. So Poco phones are X7 and X7 Pro. They will be shipped with Android 15. So the good side of that phone is like they're coming with finally IP 68. So this is something great for those looking for affordable and durable phones. And the battery is going to be for Pro, it's going to be 6,000. This is great.
The Poco phone or the Poco series, Xiaomi really did something right because you remember that first Poco phone? I mean, it was just blowing everything out of the water because, I mean, you have this phone that's very cheap and yet rocking flagship chip. It was just, I don't know what the trick was, but frankly, I like what they're doing. It gives people good phones, yet for a very small price.
Yeah, but now Pocos are just Redmi rebranding. So they just bring a Redmi phone, a Chinese Redmi phone, or even those who are globally released, and do slight changes if they do any, and say that this is a Poco. So the problem with Xiaomi is that they are competing against them. Like Xiaomi is competing against itself. So you have a lot of phones, you have a lot of sub brands, the Redmi, the Poco, and everything is released. And they have a lot of phones. And to make prices cheap like this, they have to have compromises. And the compromises, personally, I'm not the person who likes to go with this type of compromises, because ads everywhere, and sometimes the hardware itself has its issues, and and the software, the HyperOS also is not, I think, liked by many with all of the changes they make with the ads also, that they are scattered all around the UI. So I think it's not just something related to the price. It's something related to, like, they are losing identity. The Poco is losing its identity, and they are not really, like, they are just throwing phones in the market. And I don't think that they just have value after a few months. So this is the real problem.
So, in other words, though, there's a little bit of a redundancy here, because you got the regular Xiaomi phones, and then you have this other one, then you have the Redmi series. Do they not have another fourth one? I don't know. They have all kinds of phones out there.
The
more
mixed
series.
series.
There you go, the mix. Do they still do the mix, or they're
Who's
Yeah,
done
they
with the
Realme?
mix?
Is that
They're the
a
mixed
brand of
fold.
somebody else?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's them. So they're still mixing things, right? Well, don't you like the mixed drinks, Sally? Now and then you have a little drink, right? You like a mixed drink, John? It's Ed that we're missing here, because
Yeah, Ed is
Ed would
that.
like that mixed stuff.
I like
so
mixed drinks. That's my preferred beverage when I'm drinking.
I'm the king of mixing different pops. I like mixing a lot of different things together, and it doesn't bother me. Sprite and orange, whatever. I mix like 3 or 4 different drinks together. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. So I think I would like to get that mixed phone that will be a true representative of me. I'm
Yeah.
El Mixo.
Well, you should see which one do you want. Do you want the Alcatel one or the mix?
I think that, for now though, I think the Alcatel would be the winner, because that big battery, man. I'm looking at summer. I mean, before too long, all this snow stuff will be gone, and it will be into springtime, and then it's summertime. Going out there into the hills. You want some big battery and play along with, and take all kinds of videos and pictures.
And those phones are also quite useful for those any disasters going around. And by the way, so sorry for what's happening in LA.
Yeah, our friends in LA, just imagine you're out there, and the power lines are down, have been burned out. And so if you have the Alcatel, that big phone, of course, you even be helping others by, recharging their phones. So it's a good thing.
So something that caught my eye is Lenovo actually released a bunch of new tablets, but the one I was excited about, I'm not considering it, but I'm excited about it, is their Legion gaming tablet. Now it's meant for gamers, but what it is it's a 8.8-inch tablet that has flagship specs. So and it's been a long time. This is something that's been missing from Android, is that small tablet form factor with flagship specs. Because Samsung, they've made these 7 and 8, 9-inch tablets, but they just put lower end processors in them. And this one has the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, and the storage is UFS 4.0. It's a really nice device, and in fact, it's sold out already. Within 2 days, it's sold out, and they're selling it in the US even. So that's something that caught my eye.
The good thing about the tablet is they will be giving three OS updates.
Yeah. So I mean, I can't remember the last time we had a tablet that size. I mean, that size. It might go back to. It probably doesn't, but it might go back to like the Nexus 7. Like, since we've had a tablet that had like the top of the line processor in it that was that size. iPad does it every year with iPad Mini, but it's just something that Android hasn't had for a while for whatever reason.
Interesting you mentioned that Motorola. They have another one, though, that I thought it sounds kind of interesting. I think that's an 11-incher. But what I like about that one is that it has 8 speakers. And give me that. I'm going to be rocking music stuff on on that one. I mean, that sounds really good. But Moto, sometimes Moto is not afraid of doing things, and that's what I like with them. It's just like what we were talking about, the other phone that has the watch-like thing on the back. Moto is not afraid of trying new things, and I think these days the best thing is to just branch out there, do something out of the way that no one is doing, to make you stand out in the crowd. And so I like Moto for doing that.
Yeah. And just to be clear, these are Lenovo tablets. I know their companies are. Are they still owned by the same people, or have they sold off?
Yeah, well, Lenovo is the one that owns Motorola, so
Yeah,
that's the
so
parent company. Yeah, so
yeah,
it's
but
all
these tablets are under the Lenovo
yeah, so they
name.
have
If
their own
anybody
Lenovo on
wants to
name
find
on
them,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And another thing that caught my eye, it kind of disappointed me, is so 2 years ago at CES 2023, Qi 2 was announced, right? And that's the new wireless charging standard. They said there are basically two requirements. I mean, more goes into it than that, but it's going to be 15-watt wireless charging, at least 15 watts, and it's going to have magnetic attachment. So they wanted phone manufacturers to start building magnets into their phones, like what Apple does with their phones using MagSafe. And in the last 2 years, only one company, HMD Global, actually released a phone that supported Qi 2. And you haven't been allowed to say this is a Qi 2 phone unless it supported this, right? So what they've done is they've backtracked and they've said, oh no, you can say it's Qi 2 ready as long as it supports the 15-watt charging, and it will work with a magnetic accessory as long as you have a magnetic case on it. So they're basically giving manufacturers an out, so they don't have to put the magnets in their phone if they don't want to, and they can still put the Qi 2 branding on, their features list.
That's a cheat. You know what I mean? That's a cheat. Basically trying to skim the system. That's not right. I mean, the whole idea is that one should be able to, magnetize it, put something in the magnet on it. But, so I'm not into, you guys, I'm not into wireless charging. I don't, for me,
Exactly.
until we have a true wireless that is like the Bluetooth that we have on our phones, maybe, I'm in a place that there's electricity, then my phone will just get it and get charged from it, or whatever, if I need to turn on the light or whatever. But until then, I'm not into that wireless charging. I got that Pixel stand a little while ago. I have no clue where the hell that thing is. I tried it once to see what it is like. That was all that I did with it.
Yeah, I'd say I charge wirelessly 95% of the time. Like the only time I ever use my wire is when I need to top up for some reason. But yeah, I actually use MagSafe, and I have a MagSafe case on my phones. So that's how I wirelessly charge. I just, attach it to the stand before I go to bed, and then it's charged in the morning. So for me, I guess nothing's changing. I'll still need to buy a case to have the magnetic charging, but I mean, it still would have been nice if we got it built into the phone. But I guess that's too difficult, or they just don't want to do it for whatever reason.
Karen girl, do you like the wireless, so-called wireless charging? Because as far as I'm concerned, it's not wireless. They're just playing games. If I'm plugging something in, it's not wireless. I mean, when I do Bluetooth, I'm not plugging anything in. Karen, do you do wireless charging?
The least thing that I care about in a phone is wireless charging. Actually, I don't think that I'm going to use it. Even if I have a phone that supports it, it won't be something that I'll care about, at least in its current state. Maybe in the future if things are more interesting, but now, no.
I hear you. So next two of us, actually three of us. But I'm glad it's there.
Marine. You left me all alone on an island this
out
time.
in the cold.
Mhm.
Karen, you want to backtrack on that? Give John a
No,
little comfort.
I'll return it back next time with something more important.
Oh boy. Yeah, well, it's I'm glad we have it. My problem with it is that it's also kind of too slow, and then it kind of makes things hard. I don't know if they've improved it. It's just not for me, but I'm glad we have it. The one thing that I would like to see is, at least if we're not having a good standard for charging watches, for example, let's have a wireless thing that is standard for the watches. So you just put that watch on there and go your own way. So that would be where I may support it. Welcome to the Spotlight segment. This is a segment dedicated to interviews with developers or interesting happenings in the world of Android. And now for this week's episode, here's your Spotlight. Let's now move on to Spotlight 2. And John, we're talking about the coveted OnePlus 13. I know that's Karen's phone. We were talking about it a little while in one of our episodes. I think it was either episode 212. We mentioned that when we were talking about the phones of 2024. And I know OnePlus 13 was something that Karen was kind of hungering for. Let's talk about OnePlus 13, shall we?
So actually, it was released. I don't remember the date. John, do you remember the day? Was it on Wednesday?
Tuesday, I think the 7th.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but it was released
so
globally.
it was this week. Yeah.
Yeah, this week, of course. After it was available in China for maybe more than a month. Actually, it's a good phone. They have released two phones, the OnePlus 13 and the OnePlus 13R. The OnePlus 13 has the best processor right now, which is the 8 Elite from Qualcomm. So it's the most powerful Qualcomm processor right now in phones. So other than that, it starts with 12 gigs of RAM with 256 gigs of storage. And there is the 512 storage with 12 or either 16 gigs. I don't know if there's the 1 terabyte. This is the phone that Warren likes. I'm not sure about this, and I'm not sure about the availability because not all phones are available in all countries. So some variants are
In their
only...
event, in the event, they said that in India, you can get the 24 gigabyte RAM and 1 terabyte storage variant. So, and I guess everywhere they're releasing globally, India is the only place that's gonna, at least that's what it seemed like from the event. India is the only one that's gonna have that model.
Well, also I think that if I remember correctly, I was reading that the European countries will get only the 256 12 gigs RAM. So I don't know why they are just having this variant, but it's the only one. And also they are not having charger in the box, which is something that India, for example, is getting a charger, as far as I remember. So usually, OnePlus gives you everything, but now only the cable and the phone in Europe. So this is also another something that it's not really good. Actually, the phone is 6.8 something, 6.82, I think, inch. It's also like the thick side, because I think it's about 8.9 millimeters thick. I don't like this, but yeah, it's a thick phone. It has the 6,000 milliamp hour battery, which is good, I think. But we shouldn't forget that it's also a big phone. But OnePlus does it good with battery life. Usually they have a good score, and they did with reviews. It's shown that the battery is like giving people some security that they won't be like left without enough juice at the end of the day. So this is a good thing. Well, the reviewers are praising the device. Well, I'm not gonna talk about cameras, but I was reading that they are struggling slightly in darkness. But you know, OnePlus was never the camera brand, despite the fact that they are just trying to. Which company are they collaborating with?
Hasselblad.
Yeah. Despite this collaboration, well, OnePlus isn't still, it's not considered as the best with respect to camera stuff. Another good thing that they have done is switching from the optical fingerprint sensor to the ultrasonic, which is good because, you know, they are asking, like, they're now asking for the phone is now expensive. It's not the old days when OnePlus was the flagship killer. It's now a flagship, and it's now treated as a flagship with respect to the price. So they should deal with it like that. So yeah, they are starting to do this, which is good. And it's IP68 rated. And this
You can put it in your
IP69 thing,
dishwasher, right?
yeah,
That's
exactly.
one of the
This
things that they're
IP69
touting.
thing.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's actually
Everyone's talking about.
IP69. Yeah, it's so the difference between IP68 and IP69 is that IP69 you can have like high pressure water streams, and it can be a high temperature water also. So yeah, you can literally put it in your dishwasher, or if you forget it's in your pants and you wash your pants, like it'll be fine.
Sanitize that baby. You know, maybe you've been to some grimy area and you know, feel kind of irky about it. You throw the thing in the dishwasher, let it wash out, or put it in the washer with your clothes. Nice, right? That's Karen, so tell us more about this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, well, actually, this is about the OnePlus 13. I hope that I haven't forgotten anything. There is still the OnePlus 13R, which is the toned down for version. It's about, I think, $599 priced. So there is some good difference between the price of the two phones, but it packs the 8 Gen 3. Last year's processor, yeah.
That's not bad. Actually, that's really good. You know what I mean?
It is.
Yeah.
In fact, it is, and the reviewers are also liking the phone. Actually, it's a good one. Yeah, but the thing is, you know, the other companies are also like this. Price range is dense. There is competition. There is, you know, so I think that they will have some harder time to try to convince people also to get this one, but it's a good one. It's still a good one, but I don't know. Maybe S24 is now cheaper than this, so actually, the S24 could be a better deal for some people. But with respect to OnePlus 13, the S24, the S25 is not there yet, so they have some time to like try to sell. So this is a point. But going back again to the specs, I don't really remember much about the OnePlus 13R, but I think also it starts with 256, 12 gigs of RAM. I don't remember the other specs, but also it's a good phone. I think it's IP65 rated, which is right. Not really good. I mean, it's like Samsung gives you IP67 with some of the less expensive phones. So I think that they should go again to the IP67. They should just do like what Samsung does. But other than that, well, the phone itself is good, is still good. Regarding updates, the two phones will support 4 years of updates. Now people are just trying to know or trying to assume or wonder, is it 4 years? Is it 4 Android versions? So OnePlus didn't say anything about it until now, but it's 4. Let's hope that they mean 4.
It's 4 Android versions and 6 years of security updates.
Yeah, but they said 4 years. So people were just trying to know if it's 4 years or 4 Android versions, you know, because sometimes, you know, it could be late. Like the company could be late in releasing the version or something. So OnePlus is not Samsung, it's not Google, so you should be cautious sometimes with those promises. But yeah, 4 years of updates and 6 years of security patches.
How about John's wireless charging? This thing supports wireless charging, does it?
Yeah, the OnePlus 13 does support wireless charging, and the 13R does not. And in fact, if you get their wireless charger, it'll charge at 50 watts wirelessly. And even if you get the magnetic case with that, you can magnetically charge it for at 50 watts. And we didn't mention the charging speed. So I think the 13 is 100 watts, and then the 13R is 80 watts. And also the R still has the optical fingerprint sensor. So I think the basic differences between the two, besides just last year's processor, is no wireless charging, optical fingerprint. The cameras are not as good, and there's not as many cameras. But yeah, some people say that build quality even is better on the 13R because it uses the new Gorilla Glass 7, I think it was, and they both have 6,000 milliamp hour batteries. And the thing about the battery in the OnePlus 13 is they're now using the silicon carbon type of battery, and they have a dual cell, or I think they might call it a stacked battery. So because they're using that technology, they can fit more capacity in a smaller space. So even though the OnePlus 12 was 5,400 milliamp hours, the OnePlus 13 is actually lighter and thinner than that phone, and has a 6,000 milliamp hour capacity. So that's pretty impressive.
Another difference is in the screen size. Isn't the OnePlus 13R 6.7 and OnePlus 13 is 6.8 something?
Yeah.
It's not big, but there is actually a slight
it's
difference.
about the same difference as with the the S24 Plus and the S24 Ultra. So they're close, but not the same size. And the physically, the shape of them, from what I've heard in reviews, the 13R is a completely flat screen, and the 13 still has a little bit. It's mostly flat, but it still has a little curve at the end.
So the one thing that I'd always held against OnePlus is they're kind of very stingy when it comes to storage, as you've indicated earlier on. And I'm kind of surprised that they would be making the 1 TB in the Indian market, but not elsewhere. And most especially when the word on the ground is that OnePlus is actually losing its place in India because of the Pixel phones that are now available in India. So I don't know if that's a nice move or good strategy on their part doing that. But then talking about that fast charging, another thing though is that the OnePlus charger, the wall charger, still has USB-A. At least that's what I was reading. So if you have it, you have to have a cord that is not USB-C to C. So I don't know why they chose to do that. It really doesn't make sense to me. Is there any reason?
It's their charger. I mean, I don't think it matters because they give you the cable that you use, and you're not going to be using it to charge other device. Well, I mean, even if you used it to charge other devices, the other end of it is.
But my whole thing is, what if something happens to that cable and you want to use that fast wall break? I don't think what's the point of making it a USB-A? I'm trying to find out the reasoning for doing that, and I can't find it. Does anyone think they know why that would be the case? I mean, what's the point?
I don't know. I mean, I guess they just don't think it matters because it would cost them to make a new one. Like, why make a new one when you have one that's USB-A? So,
my goodness.
I mean, you
Yeah,
can use it with any USB-C charger. You know, if you have a USB-C brick and a USB-C cable already, you can use that. So, you know, it's just to get
yeah,
the
but if you want to
100
get
watts.
that fast charging thing, you have to use their proprietary, brick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my beef about it because I mean they should have fixed that by now, though. I mean every wall charger now should be running USB-C, or but most especially if both ends are coming these days. I mean, since maybe 2 or 3 years
So
ago,
you're
every
not happy
yeah.
that they include it? You think they should include it and make it be a USB-C?
Well, I'm just saying it should be USB-C because if something happens to the cord that comes with it, then you're toast.
Or
You're not going to get
you
those
could get a
speeds.
new cord.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
it's
come
not.
on, John, why are you trying to excuse
I
this
mean,
choice?
I'm just saying that I don't think it's I don't think it's a big deal. And just to
Yeah,
clarify, from what I have read, I think it's like a European Union or EU regulations reason that they can't include it in the box. So I mean, I'll find out soon enough. I think in the US it is going to come with a charger still. It's just certain regions won't have it in the box.
yeah. And then yet in the same breath, they will allow me to go buy it for a very expensive price. The whole thing is just turned down on its head, and I think that's the consumer gets shafted in the whole process. It's just, I don't think anyone out there is looking out for us. They're all liars looking for ways of making money. That's all this boils down to. But
You like slow charging anyway, right?
yeah, I do
Even if
like
you
slow
got this
charging.
phone and they gave you the charger, you wouldn't use it. You use your slow
Well,
pixel
but
charger.
I'm not looking out for me. I'm looking out for people like you who like that so-called fast charging. I don't like my phone. I like my phone. If it'll take 8 hours to charge, let it take 8 hours.
I mean, like I mentioned earlier, I use wireless charging, so I won't use this, but I'll be happy when I have it because the only time I charge my phone with the wire is like, oh crap, I forgot to charge it last night. That type of situation. And then I plug it in. So it will be nice to have that option to charge it quickly if I need to. But day to day, I'm not going to be using the fast charger.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so Warren, you were going to buy this one and replace your Pixel, but the thing that prevented you was only that it had this USB-C, USB-A charger cable, I mean?
Well, no, not really. Frankly, like John said, or probably
I'm trying to find an excuse not to get the thing and say, Pixel is better,
okay.
guys, Pixel is better.
So here's the reason, and to be honest, I wouldn't even give a rat about the charger because like my things charging slow anyway. I would just plug it direct into my power strips. That's where I plug my phones. But what really made me not to is I couldn't find where to choose the device I want to trade in. John found it, but then to John's credit, he found out that actually they were only giving like $200 something for the Pixel 7 Pro and like 300 or so for the Pixel 8 Pro. And I mean, I'm like, there's no way under heaven I'm going to take my 1 TB device and give it to you for $200. It's just not going to happen. So that's why I'm not getting it.
So, John, are you still going to pre-order the phone?
Yeah, I did pre-order it.
Did you pre-order?
Yeah, I was actually tempted to buy it from Best Buy because Best Buy had it like in stock, like you could pick it up, and OnePlus is saying I might get it by the 17th. So I got my shipping label, but it just says label created. I mean, I got my shipping number, but it just says label created. FedEx doesn't even have it yet. So I don't know when I'm going to get it. I hope I'm going to get it next week. But yeah, I did order it just to mention the pricing and the upgrades that they're offering right now. I think you have until like February 7th to get a free storage upgrade. So the starting for the OnePlus 13, it starts at $899, and that's for 256 and 12 gigabytes of RAM. And the normal price for the 512 version with 16 gigabytes of RAM is going to be $1,000, but right now you can get it for the same price, so you can get it for the $900 as long as you get it before February 7th. So basically, anybody buying the 256 gigabyte version is not making the right choice at this point, unless, obviously, like you mentioned earlier, some regions don't even offer the 512. But here in the US, they're offering the free upgrade. They're also offering a free gift, so you can pick OnePlus Buds 3 or OnePlus Watch 2, I think, as a free gift. So, I'm getting the watch. I'm probably not even going to open it. I'm just going to sell it and try to get some of my money back. But that is one of the deals they're offering right now if you order directly from them. So yeah, and they are offering decent trade-ins for certain models. So if you have a phone to trade in, and you're interested, definitely see what they're offering you. I told them I'm going to trade in my Z Fold 6, but I haven't decided if I'm going to go through with it or not, because what they do is they charge you the full amount up front, and then after they get your device for trade-in, they'll refund you whatever they quoted you for the device. But yeah, as of now, I have it coming at some point.
So if you were trading in, or like you said, you put in there that you are trading in your 6 Fold, how much were they offering you for that trade-in of the Fold?
800. So
So you'll get the phone for like $100.
yeah, actually less than that. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's not bad, especially if you like the phone. Of course, you've had your 6 Fold for a while now, and so if you really want to, you could. But this is the Fold; it's not the Flip, right?
Yeah, it's the Fold. So it's
I
even
don't
though
know that I would give my Fold for this.
that's what I'm still thinking about it, because this is the Fold that I got for a steal. But
yeah,
that steal was like $1,100. So
exactly.
I paid $1,100 for it. So actually, what I'm planning at this point is, because I'm also getting the S25 in some form, right? I don't know which S25 I'm getting, but their event is on the 22nd, I think. And I'm going to see what they're going to offer me for my Fold, and if they offer me more for it, then I'll just not send it into OnePlus. I'll just use it towards that one, and then I'll figure out something else to pay down the credit card. I have other devices I can sell.
S25, I'm kind of not sure about if I'm going to get it or not.
Why is that?
Why is that,
Well,
Sally? You're not enthused about it?
Well,
I
I'm
thought you are the
super
Samsung boy.
excited, but I don't know. I want to get the Plus version this time because I'm more than sure that the 25 will be coming with a smaller battery, but the Plus will be costly, and not sure how they will be
Just
trading in
try to
format.
trade in your own. Samsung
I will
is
do. I will do that, but not
you
sure how
know,
it's gonna be the value for S23.
yeah.
One
trade
thing
in
with
that one.
Samsung is sometimes they'll give you more for your device if you're buying a more expensive phone. So, like, for example, if you're upgrading to the S25, they might say we'll give you $400 for your old phone. But then if you're upgrading to the Plus, they'll say we'll give you $450 for that same phone. But because you're buying a more expensive phone,
Yeah, the thing is, like, they always give you extra deals for pre-orders, and I will see what happens. They gave me a code for getting the wireless charger and Smart Tech 2 for free if I ever get to order 25 one of the 25s. But we'll see if I'm going to get any extra deals. But if not, if I'm not getting any extra deals, I'm not buying it. Let's see what happens.
And another thing that we didn't mention, that OnePlus, they will take in any of your phone, regardless of what shape it is. They'll give you $100 discount, right? Did I read that right?
Good.
John?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they will.
So can I give them a Nokia E5, for example, and they'll give me $100?
Yeah, I think you should be able.
I did not read that fine of the print.
Well,
But
it says any cell phone.
maybe
so
they mean smartphone.
It's a cell phone. It's
yeah,
a
well,
smart
it says
also.
cell
Singing was
phone.
smart in its days. So
Well, I'm sure they will give it to you because the whole idea is they're trying to make people buy it. So
yeah, they're just recycling them
frankly,
anyway.
yeah, they're recycling those ones. So even if
Not like they're
it's
trying
just
to resell them.
$100, they're giving you off for that phone. So yeah, really, if one has some fun they like to throw in there to get that $100 discount, they'll still get that regardless of the type of the cell phone.
I remember at one point Samsung did a trade-in for one of their Galaxy Buds. They said they'd give you $50 for any pair of earbuds, wired or wireless. So you could like literally just like find the cheapest pair of like wired headphones or go buy some from the dollar store, and then get $50 off.
Oh my gosh, John, you're brilliant.
But yeah, I mean, they don't expect to it's the same as this. They don't expect to like make any money off of what you're trading in. They're just giving you that option to try to tempt more people into buying it.
Exactly. They just want people to buy it, and that's the whole point. So we sell so many units. So I mean, if you buy it, if you throw in a very phone that is very bad or whatever, at least they're only losing $100. I mean, so this phone probably in reality may be just cost effective. It could be just like $600 or whatever, but they're making it $900. So when they discount 100, they're not losing much. They're making more money if more people buy it, trading in those phones. They're still actually winding up on top. So you have an old phone, throw that baby in, get that $100 discount. All good things must end. Thus, it's curtain drawing time, bringing us to the close of this week's episode. Coming up, though, we give you information on how to get hold of us. And with that, guys, we come to the end of this week's episode. Again, we want to thank you for listening to us. We have John, though, standing by to give you information on how you can get hold of us. John?
To contact us, simply send an email to contactus@blindandroidusers.com. If you'd prefer, you can leave a voicemail by calling +1 307 202 9797. You can join our mailing list by sending a blank email to Blind Android Users Plus Subscribe @groups.io. You can join our Facebook and Telegram groups or subscribe to our YouTube channel using the links in the podcast show notes or YouTube video description. And you can find all of this information and more at our website, blindandroidusers.com.
Thank you so much for that, John. And that brings us to the end of this episode. As always, we're looking forward to seeing you guys again next week. From me, though, I want to say goodbye and thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening.
thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Goodbye.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Blind Android Users Podcast. Until we see you next week, don't forget to leave us your comments and suggestions via our email contact or using any of our social media sites. Have a great week.